Hi, in this lecture we are going to discuss about more on data types in C. Already in the previous lecture we have discussed about how you can have an integer variable and what are all the different types of data types you can have, that is type of variables you can have and their limitations. Now we will solve some more problems and we will see some more examples related to data types. Okay, so in this lecture first we are going to solve this simple interest problem. Okay, so how will we calculate simple interest in a bank? So what is the formula? Is generally P into N into R by 100. This is the formula we use in general for calculation of the simple interest, where P is going to be the principal amount invested, N is going to be the number of years for which it is that investment is made, and R is going to be the rate. Okay, so we will try to solve this problem using actually the command we should use double slash. So this I am using single line commands for both of these statements, or else you can use multi-line commands also, like this, where I will start with slash star and finish it with star slash. Okay, and now we have to include the header files, related header files. The header file which should be included in all the program is stdio.h, standard input output.h. Okay, and we have seen that there should be one function in all the code, that is the main, and the return type is void, right? And when we look at the data type, now let us make a small quick analysis of the problem. What is the input required for the problem is, you have to know the principal, you have to know for how many years they are going to invest, and the rate of interest. Okay, so we have to have variables for each of the three things. When you look at principal, generally it will be a integer, right? So let me say it as int principal, and number of years also will be an integer. So I am giving as num years. See, whenever we are naming the variables, it is better to give it as meaningful names, so that it will be easy for us to understand the code once we go through it. It is very important that you should give meaningful names, right? So principal, number of years, and then the rate of interest. When you look at the rate of interest, actually it can also have a decimal point. For example, we have seen that 7.5 will be the interest rate, or 11.2, something like that. Okay, so there may be also decimal points. In C language, what you have to do is, when you are going to have decimal point, then you have to have real type of data. Okay, the data type should be real, and when you look at the possibilities, the smallest will be float. Okay, you can have float or double or long double, right? Now here we are going to have it as float, right? So float, and I am going to say rate. Okay, these are all the three variables, and then I am going to calculate the simple interest. So when you are going to calculate the simple interest, you can see that that also will be a floating point value only. So I am going to declare that a variable to hold the simple interest value. Now you have to read the values from the user. That should be the first step of the algorithm. You have to read the input from the user. Three inputs you are going to read. First one is the principal amount, second one is the number of years, and third one is the rate of interest, right? So we have to give the appropriate format strings. For principal, you look at the data type, it is integer, so you have to give %d. Next, you will be reading the number of years, which is also an integer, so you give %d. And the next one is the rate of interest, which is a floating point value, so you have to give %f, right? And then comma, after this you have to give all the addresses of the corresponding variables. When you want to know the address of the variable, just put an ampersand before the name of the variable. Okay, so ampersand principal, comma, ampersand number of years, comma, ampersand rate of interest. Okay, to make it more interactive, I am going to give a print statement using printf. Okay, enter principal, number of years, and rate of interest. Okay, Okay, so you have to use a semicolon at the end of the statement, that is must. Right, now I am going to calculate the simple interest. So the formula is P into N into R by 100. If you want, you can use parenthesis, otherwise you can just ignore it, because as per the rule of the precedence also it will be same. Okay, so I am just using parenthesis for clarity. Principal into number of years into rate of interest, okay, divided by 100. This is how you will calculate the simple interest. And after this I am going to print the interest calculated. So you can say print a simple interest calculated. Yes, here in this place I want to print the value of the simple interest. Okay, so when you look at the variable name that I have used for storing the simple interest, it is SI, and when you look at the data type, it is float. So I have to use percentage F there, and then I have to give the name of the variable. Okay, right. So this is how we can solve this problem. Now let us go to the terminal and give the, okay, let me see, yeah, sim underscore interest. Yeah. So I have compiled the code, and now I am going to execute the code. It is asking you to enter the principal and then number of years and then rate of interest. Okay, let it be 8.5. Now we will see that 170 is the simple interest, and in the previous session we were saying that 6 decimal places will be used. You can see here actually it is showing 6 decimal places. For floating point values, 6 decimal places are used. For double, 15 decimal places. Okay, now let us not confuse double. Just look at the floating point value. You see that 6 decimal places are getting printed. Right. Now I want to talk more about what we discussed in the previous thing, like how the data type is decided. Okay, I will show some few examples for that. Okay, so data type, okay, dot C. So any program should have a stdio.h, right, and then I am going to have a main, right, and I am going to have, let it be 2 integers a and b, right, and let me say float c. Okay, let this be the case, and I am going to read the value of a and b from the user. And I want to read the values of a and b from the user, I have to give the appropriate format string, %d, %a, because both are going to be integers. Then I have to pass the address. So how to get the address? Just put an ampersand before the variable name, right? And then I am going to find out what is C. C is equal to a by b. Now you can have a print statement for printing the value of C. Okay, here I want to print a float value, so I have to give %f and then C. Okay, so let me compile this code. CC data type, okay, dot C, and then now we are going to execute. It is waiting for you to enter the value of a and b. Let me say the value of a is 5, b is 2. So when you look at the code, what will happen is both are integers. Now I have entered the value of a as 5 and b as 2. So when you divide 5 by 2, when division operator is being applied between the operands, it will check the data type of the operands. When you look at this, a is also an integer, b is also an integer. So it will do integer division only. I have entered 5 and 2 for a and b. So it will be actually calculating what is 5 by 2. Though it is 2.5, it will do integer division and say the result as 2. It will be stored in C as 2. But when you look at the data type of C, it is float. Okay. So what will happen is any floating point value will have 6 decimal places reserved. That is, we cannot change. If there is no decimal part for that, zeros will be stored there. Okay. So when I do the operation, when I do the division operation, A by B, it is doing 5 by 2. Okay. Actually 5 by 2, when I do a true division, it will be 2.5. But here, since both the variables are of integer data type, it will do only integer division, and the value what is got on the right hand side will be only 2. It won't be 2.5, it will be only 2, and we assign it to a floating point variable C, right? When you are assigning it to a floating point variable, there are 6 decimal places reserved, and if the value assigned does not contain a decimal place, then everything will be 0. So when I print the value of C, what you will see is 2.60. That is what you will see. Okay. Yeah, you can see that it is 2.60. Hope it is clear. Now what I am going to do is, I am going to make a small modification in the code. I am going to change the data type of B from integer to float. I am going to say float B comma C. Now then I should change in the format string also. It's very important in C language that you give proper format string. Okay. So when I am reading A, it's %D fine, but when I am reading B, I should give now as %F, because I have changed the data type as float. Now what will happen? Okay, A is an integer, B is a floating point value. Now we are calculating C, which is A slash B. Okay, you are dividing an integer variable by a floating point variable. So now it's mixed. Okay, so when it is mixed, what the system will do is, it will do something called as implicit data conversion. Okay, what will happen here is implicit data conversion will happen. Okay, so the data type of A will be changed from int to float. Always when we do implicit data conversion, only promotions happen. Integers and floating point values are there, means integers will be changed to floating point values, right? Similarly, if you have a float and a double, whichever is larger, to that one it will be extended, right? So here in this case we have got a integer and a floating point value, so both will be converted to float, and a normal true division will happen. If I give again 5 and 2, you will see that 5 by 2 will be 2.5, and that value will be assigned to C. And when you print in the next line the value of C is, you will see that 2.5 followed by 5 zeros. That is what you will be able to see. Let me give the same values 5 and 2. You can see that you are getting it as 2.5 followed by 5 zeros, right? This is how it is being done in C language. This is called implicit data conversion. But we can do something called as explicit data conversion also. Okay. So how we can do explicit data conversion is, for this let me convert, change back B to integer itself. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. So here, if I want to change B to float before doing the operation, then I can indicate it in the expression. Okay. So I will put within parentheses the data type to which this variable has to be converted. I want to convert B to a floating point value, means just put float within parentheses before the variable name B. Okay, so before the division operation is being done, this will be converted implicitly into a floating point value, right? Okay. Now when it is trying to apply the division operation, once again between an integer and a floating point value, because of the conversion that we have mentioned, right? So A also will be converted to float as per the rule, and then a normal true division will happen, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I forgot to save it. It's very important that you should save it, otherwise the whole code only will get compiled. Yeah, you can see that now also I will get the value of C to be 2.5 followed by 0. This is what is explicit data conversion. I hope things are clear. Next, one more thing I want to show in this lecture is about the size of operator. Okay, what is size of is? In the previous session, I was showing in the slides like 2 bytes will be allocated, 4 bytes will be allocated, depends on the mission, depends on the compiler, something like that. If you want to know how many bytes are allocated for a variable, then we can do it. Okay, so let me start. This is the header file, stdio.h, that you require for all the C program, and then main. Let me say int a and then printf. Okay, I'm going to print something. Before that, I want to show you something. This is possible in Linux. You can use man. Okay, man means it will refer to the manual page of the particular function. If I want to see how I should use the size of is a operator which has got some syntax. Okay, so if I want to see it, okay, there is no manual entry. Okay, for functions it will be available. Since it's an operator, I think it's not coming. You can use this man, okay, for printing the details about the functions. Okay, anyway, this size of will return a long value, long integer. So what is the format string for long integer is LD, and then I can say size of a. I want to know how many bytes will be allocated for a. I can do like this. Okay, so you see, size of dot c. You can see that 4 bytes are allocated for this one. Similarly, you change the data type to float. Four bytes are getting allocated. Let me change the data type to long int. Okay, long is the qualifier for which 8 bytes will be allocated. I don't know whether I made a mistake in the previous lecture. The current compilers and the systems will allocate 8 bytes for long integer. So you can see that 8 bytes are getting allocated. Similarly, when you have bigger values for decimal part, float means some smaller values can be held in float. Data type is very important in C language. Based on the value range of the value what is going to be there for the variable, we may have to choose appropriate data type. Okay, so now if I want to store bigger values with decimal parts, then I have to go for double. Double will be allocated 8 bytes. Okay, and also you can have a long double. You can have a long double for which you will be allocated 16 bytes. Okay, this is the maximum amount of memory that we can assign for numbers. Okay, numbers can be basically with the decimal parts or without decimal parts, right? So when you are saying with decimal parts, you have to go for either float or double or long double. Okay, float 4 bytes, double 8 bytes, long double 16 bytes. Similarly, when you are not going to have decimal parts, you can go for int or long int or short int. For int 4 bytes, long int 8 bytes, and for short int you will get 2 bytes. Let me show that also. For short int you will have 2 bytes of memory allocated. Yeah, okay, so this is how it's going to be, and you can have unsigned. So what is the difference between signed and unsigned also? In the previous session we have discussed. When you say signed, you can have positive value as well as negative value. The size will not change. Okay, but one of the bit, that is the leftmost bit, is reserved for sign when it is a normal integer or normal short integer or whatever it is. Okay, the leftmost bit is reserved for indicating the sign. 0 will be positive sign and 1 will indicate negative sign. Bits can hold only zeros or 1. The value can be either 0 or 1 only. So 0 is for positive and 1 is for negative. But when I say unsigned, when you are very sure that you will get only positive values, or when you are very sure that only one type of sign is going to be there for the value, we can go for unsigned. The variable is not going to have the other sign, means then we can go for unsigned. Okay. So in that case, all the bits here in this case for shortened 2 bytes will be allocated. So totally 16 bits are there. So all the 16 bits will be for storing the data. There is no reservation of bit for signed. That is the difference between signed value and unsigned value. If you are not mentioning anything, then by default it will be a signed value only. I can also mention this as signed. Okay, that is also perfectly alright, but generally we do not mention. When we do not mention anything, then it means that the value that can be stored in the variable will be signed. So one of the bit, the leftmost bit, will be reserved for the sign. Hope this is clear, and this is a short intro about the data types and how to find the size of the data types, and how do we do explicit conversion, how the system does implicit conversion. Okay, we will do further discussions in the next few sessions. Thank you.